Hello once again, my friends. I am bringing you a story from Metro today, and this title is Thousands of Furious The Witcher fans sign petition to replace the writers instead of Henry Cavill. And I think that this is really hilarious. They would rather Henry Cavill continue to play The Witcher and get rid of the writers of the show instead because of all of the woke stuff they put in prior seasons. I'm sure that people are displeased with that. However, everyone loves Henry Cavill, and he loves the Witcher role, and everyone is aware of that. So it's been a bummer finding out that he has quit The Witcher and is being replaced by Liam Hemsworth, of all people. Are you kidding me? He is not The Witcher. Henry Cavill is The Witcher, and Henry Cavill is Superman as well. I think he plays both roles amazingly. And we're going to talk about this petition that is being signed by thousands of passionate fans. Thousands of passionate fans of The Witcher have signed a petition calling for Henry Cavill not to leave the show, insisting that they want the writers to be replaced instead. On Saturday, it was announced that after 3 outings as Geralt of Rivia, when Season 4 of The Witcher is released on Netflix, Henry, 39, wow! Henry's 39 years old? That's insane! Will be replaced by the Hunger Games actor Liam Hemsworth, 32. Wah, wah. In a statement, the Superman star said, "My journey as Geralt of Rivia has been filled with both monsters and adventures, and alas, I will be laying down my medallion and my swords for Season 4, while also dubbing his successor fantastic." Well, that has to be seen. That remains to be seen, and my phone is going off. I apologize. In his own statement, Liam added, "Henry Cavill has been an incredible Geralt, and I'm honored that he's handing me the reins and allowing me to take up the White Wolf's blades for the next chapter of his adventure." I'm sure he's really pleased because he just got one of the biggest roles ever, and it was basically just handed over to him because Henry quit, which, you know, is sad. But again, I'm actually really excited that he's coming back as Superman. I know that there are some mixed feelings all around about this whole thing, so we're going to find out a little bit more about this as we go along. There's been a divided response to the casting news among the fandom, with some pledging to boycott Netflix as a result. Plenty of people have since turned to a change.org petition to voice their displeasure at the change, with more than 15,000 signing it at the time of writing. That's insane. 15,000? Oh my goodness, and my phone's going off. Let me just shut that thing off really quick. Okay, let's continue before people get slightly impatient. There's been a divided response to the casting news. Of course, here's Liam Hemsworth, who is they really expect him to fill these shoes. Come on, it's Liam Hemsworth. Okay. The title of the petition reads, "Netflix, you must keep Henry Cavill as The Witcher and replace the writers instead." The summary explained that I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but Andrzej Sapkowski, who wrote the books, yeah, we all know who he is. Except I just don't know how to pronounce his name correctly. Sorry about that. Who wrote the books on which fantasy drama is based, was more than happy with Henry Cavill's appearance as The Witcher. Yeah, everyone was more than happy with it. He was amazing. We love him as The Witcher. The petition emphasized how big a fan Henry was of the source material, knowing all of it inside out, adding that he wanted to stay true to Sapkowski's world. "Let us show them in pure numbers and thus lost money, because that's all they really care about, that none of us Witcher fans will stand with them and will abandon the show and potentially our subscriptions after The Witcher Season 3 is concluded." The petition organizer wrote, like, we're still going to watch it, but after Season 3, when Henry Cavill isn't in it, we're not going to watch it anymore. In a Twitter thread posted in June 2020, The Witcher showrunner Lauren S. Hissrich explained why, in her opinion, it's equally as important to have writers who are familiar with a fictional world as it is to have writers who are not. Why? But when it comes to The Witcher, it's got such a passionate fan base. You know, you want to get this stuff accurate. You don't want to change everything about it. I do wonder what the writing of Season 3 is looking like and why Henry Cavill ultimately quits. I have not looked too much into it because I've been out of town, but this is intriguing to me. It really is. Let's check out this tweet from Lauren S. Hissrich. "I believe I've covered in detail why diverse voices are important in TV, but there's another part of this tweet that is worth discussing. When writing an adaptation, are the best writers always the ones most familiar with the world?" So she's like, look, bad writers can be good writers too, especially for huge IPs like The Witcher. I have a bunch of bad writers that I'm getting in line for this. I'm not sure exactly that's what she's saying. I think it is. How about the best writers, those most familiar with the world, get the job and don't focus on diversity? I know it's a controversial thought, and this is actually really interesting that she's responding to that tweet in this way. It's like, well, the best writers aren't always the most familiar with the world. Sometimes woke writers are good, which I don't think so, in my opinion. I think that's a horrible decision to make and a horrible thing to say as well. Anyway, quote, when you write an adaptation, you have to be familiar with the original work. Yes, of course, the writers and staff on The Witcher had to read all of the books and had to appreciate/enjoy the genre. But I specifically didn't seek out Ten Sapkowski's scholars, she wrote. Instead, I found several writers who were intimately familiar with the characters and themes and politics of the continent. Some grew up with these stories, looking at you, at Baggins, I guess, and provided rich detail and insight into not just the books, but the history behind them. But it was equally important to have writers in the room who were able to question the givens in the books. Why? Why would you have writers question that? And so, I mean, they changed it. And they changed some things that kind of suck. And the writing, there are moments when the writing is really slow. I mean, if you haven't seen the season 2 of The Witcher, if you see what they did to Eskel, wow, awful. But it was, anyway, what'd she say? Why do people hate the elves so much? Or, wait, I still don't understand Ciri's bloodline. How do we examine it in a clearer way for the TV audience? I mean, it was done okay. Second season was definitely better than the first season, in my opinion, but they still screwed up a lot. And this writer has been under some fire before. Lawrence stressed that they needed writers fighting for the spirit of the books and the intention of the author, but also writers who are aware that novels can't be a 1-1 adaptation to TV. That's not true. That's not true. They've done great things with adaptations before, and they've even changed things that would make the story better. House of the Dragon is a really great example. I think it's a great example of a show that has made the book better, because while I have not read Fire and Blood yet, I do plan to, but from what I hear about other people who watched the first season like I did, even George R.R. Martin himself said that there were things done in the show that were way better than the things that he did to his own characters in the books. So I find that to be really cool, and I think that it is possible to make an adaptation 1-1 and sometimes even make it better. It just depends on how the writing is, honestly. We need writers who are close, but not too close. Again, why? Why not get the most passionate, the most capable writers in the business to do this show? This is an important TV show starring one of the most famous actors ever. I don't know. Who love the world but aren't afraid to question it. Who are fans but are willing to step back and open their minds in order to bring their beloved world to our real big one. I hope we did that. Yeah, I bet she does hope that they did that. Because why would we want the real world brought into the make-believe world of The Witcher? Why? Obviously, it's for agenda pushing. There is an agenda at work, but The Witcher does not deserve that. It does not deserve to be put on such a pedestal where everyone has to question the politics, question the motivations, and sometimes even change it to fit what the real world looks like. I remember that somebody in the Rings of Power, a producer way high up in the chain, said the same thing. We need to make The Lord of the Rings a reflection of what the real world actually looks like. Let's read on. The Witcher is available to watch on Netflix. That didn't need to be read. Oh, that's it. Okay, well, look, if this petition goes through and it reaches Henry and he's just like, all right, you know what? I'm going to come back as the Witcher. I mean, that would be great. But look, if he quit because he needs to be Superman and he wants to put all of his energy and effort into it, then fantastic. And that's his choice. I respect it. But if he left because he felt uncomfortable with the direction that the show was going in, then I think that a conversation needs to be had about that, because Henry is the Witcher, and a lot of people fell in love with him. And for him to switch so drastically like this, and then for us to get Liam Hemsworth as a replacement, that's ridiculous. But only time will tell. I thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe, share this video, click on that notification bell, and I will see you all next time.